They used to call him Ghost, not because he was quiet, but because nobody ever saw him coming. In a city where every street had its own rules and every neighborhood had its own boss, Ghost learned early that surviving meant being smarter, faster, and colder than the people around him. He wasn't born dangerous. Life made him that way. Ghost grew up in one of those gray blocks where every window told a story, most of them sad. His father disappeared before he could remember his face. His mother worked double shifts just to keep the lights on. By the time Ghost was 13, he already knew how to pick locks, fix stolen phones, and disappear when things went wrong. He didn't do it because he liked trouble. He did it because trouble was the only thing life ever offered him. One evening, when he was 14, Ghost saw something that changed him. Three older guys beat up a teenager right in front of his building. Not for money, not for revenge, just because they felt like it. Ghost didn't step in. He wasn't stupid, but he watched. He memorized their faces, their tattoos, their voices, and he promised himself something. If I ever get power, I'll never be the one bleeding on the ground. He started small, running errands for older boys, delivering packages, keeping his mouth shut. In their world, silence was worth more than gold, and Ghost was silent by nature. He learned how deals were made, how debts were collected, how fear worked. He wasn't the strongest. He wasn't the biggest, but he was the most calculated. He never rushed, never panicked, never got emotional. At 16, he made his first real money. One of the older guys, a street dealer named Sokol, trusted Ghost to watch his stash for a few hours. Sokol got arrested that evening, and everyone expected Ghost to run off with the product or disappear. Instead, he waited, all night, in the cold, in the dark. When Sokol's people came to collect the stash, Ghost handed it all back untouched. In their world, loyalty was rare. Loyalty from a kid, even rarer. From that day, Sokol took him under his wing. He taught Ghost the real street game, how to spot undercover cops, how to tell when someone is lying, how to negotiate without saying too much, and most importantly, how to stay alive when everything goes sideways. And it always went sideways. By 17, Ghost wasn't just an errand boy anymore. He handled money pickups, stored packages, and made sure people paid what they owed. He didn't use violence unless he had to. But everyone around him knew one thing. If Ghost did show up at your door, it was already too late. But every rise creates enemies. One night, Ghost was delivering cash to an abandoned basement used as a meetup point. Everything was normal until he noticed something strange. A car he had seen earlier that day was parked across the street with the engine running. The lights were off. No one inside was moving. Ghost felt a chill. He had learned a long time ago. Cars don't wait for nothing. He didn't go inside the basement right away. Instead, he walked past it, pretending to take out the trash. As he passed the parked car, he caught a glimpse of a badge shining in the dark. Undercover police. 3 of them. Watching, waiting. Ghost didn't run. Running attracts bullets. He kept walking calmly, turned a corner, slipped into an alleyway, climbed a fence, and disappeared into the night. If he had gone inside that basement, he would have been arrested with the cash and the product. Someone had set him up, someone who knew exactly where he would be and when. The next day, Sokol called him. His voice was low, tense. Ghost. Someone's talking, someone close. Ghost didn't answer. He didn't need to. He knew. There was a rat, and in their world, rats didn't live long. Ghost started watching everyone around him. Their body language, their routines, their mistakes. And slowly, the truth began to surface. There was one guy, Petro, older, always nervous, always asking too many questions. The type who talked big but acted small. Ghost remembered how Petro had insisted on that basement pickup the night before. Easy job, he said. Quick money. Too quick. Ghost followed him from a distance for 3 days. On the 4th day, he saw him slip into a bar that cops often visited off-duty, not a place someone from their world should ever enter alone. Ghost approached the window, and there he saw it. Petro shaking hands with the same undercover officer from the car. The rat had a deal, money for information, information about Ghost, about Sokol, about the whole crew. Ghost didn't feel anger. He felt something colder, something sharper. Betrayal wasn't emotional in his world. It was math, and Petro's time was up. But Ghost knew killing a rat wasn't the hard part. The hard part was doing it clean, quiet, invisible, like a ghost. He waited until Petro left the bar, followed him through 2 blocks. When Petro walked into a narrow alley toward his building, Ghost stepped out from behind a dumpster. Petro froze. You don't understand, he stuttered. Ghost didn't raise his voice. I understand everything. The rest of what happened stayed off the streets. No witnesses, no noise, just silence. The next morning, Sokol called again. You handled it? Ghost answered calmly. He won't talk anymore. Sokol paused. Good, because now bigger problems are coming. And Ghost felt it too. Killing a rat is one thing, but rats always work for someone. Someone higher, someone stronger. And whoever was behind Petro wasn't going to just walk away. Ghost had survived the streets all his life, but now for the first time, he felt something new. Not fear, not guilt. A storm. A storm coming straight at him. And he knew the only way to survive was to hit first.